does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check out Baby Blues, a cute game for terrible people from Indie Board and Cards. This is for 3 to 5 players, ages 14 plus. It'll take about 30 minutes to play, and in Baby Blues, you are running a daycare center, and for some reason, you are going to be trying to make other people's babies cry, but keep all your babies happy. I guess maybe there's a promotion on the line, and so you're trying to look good or something. Not quite sure. It is a lightweight take-that-esque game, but is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's sitting inside of Baby Blues. So first and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule sheet. It is one really long page, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, and a couple examples. This part right here is actually just all the different cards in the game and exactly what they do. Here's a really nice sample turn. And overall, it's a pretty well-done rule booklet that should have you up and running pretty smoothly. It's a pretty simple game, so hopefully I can teach you how to play it right now. So in Baby Blues, each player is going to get a hand of babies they're going to be placing down in front of them. They will have numbers on the back between 0 and 4. If this baby is not crying at the end of the game, that's how many points you're going to score for that baby. So no one will be exactly sure of how many points they're taking away from you by making your baby cry. The game is going to end when someone has all of their babies crying. Once that happens, you'll tally up the points. Whoever has the most points will be the winner. So how do you make babies cry? Well, it's easy. I'll show you. So first and foremost, we got all these cards right here. These cards are going to be the star of the show, and they're all going to have various different things on them. Either things that will make babies happy, like pacifiers, or things that will make babies sad, like being agitated, or, for instance, cutting their mobile. Once again, the green cards are making them happy, so a diaper will make their poopiness, let's see, the poop, feel good. Also, there's a horn for some particular reason that you can honk at a crying baby, and when you honk at a crying baby, it makes the babies next to that crying baby agitated. Now, one unique aspect about this card that I do want to mention before I forget is let's just pretend that this baby all the way on the right side was crying, and I played this honking, the horn right there. That would make this baby now unhappy and agitated, and it also would make the baby over here to the right, which would be the opponent's baby, so let's just say all the way over here, he would also be unhappy as well. So it kind of wraps around the table, which is a pretty cool aspect that I did want to mention. So let's show you how the game is played. So at the beginning of the game, each player is going to have 5 turns, and on your turn, you're going to be able to do 3 things. So the first thing you can do is you can play 1 misfortune card on someone else. Misfortune cards are either going to be the red cards or the orange cards. The red cards are going to cause a problem for someone else. So if you played a red card on top of someone, let's just say this one baby was right here. Now this baby has a poopy diaper. If that player does not play a diaper card by the end of their turn, then this baby will go from unhappy to crying, which means they will not score any points at the end of the game, and then this will go away. However, if they happen to have a diaper card, like we showed you a little bit earlier, they will be able to get rid of that poop. So you'll be able to play 1 of those cards. So there's red cards, which will make babies unhappy, and then there are orange cards. Now, orange cards are going to do something to a baby who's trying to get back to being happy. So, for instance, a mobile will make a baby not unhappy. So you're cutting their mobile. Also, you could potentially be trying to feed your baby a bottle or feed them food, which will make them happy, but you can also play this empty food jar. You can take away their pacifier out of their mouth. You can do various different things to make them unhappy. Now, let's just run you through a mock hand and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So, 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On my turn, I get to play 1 misfortune card. So, I am going to take this baby's pacifier, pop, it's mine now. So, next turn, when it's their turn, they have to play a pacifier card or else they're in a world of hurt. Next, I can play comfort cards. So, if any of my babies were unhappy, like let's just say this one was agitated. Let's see if I can find an agitated card right now. let's pretend that someone had played this agitated card on me, then I would be able to play as many of these cards as I want. So if I had 3 babies that were unhappy, and I had the cards to fix the baby, I could play all 3 of those cards. So for this particular card, they either want food, they want a bottle, or they want a mobile. Now, how the food works and how the bottle work is kind of interesting because it will take numerous turns in order to make this baby well again. So for instance, with the bottle, it's going to take 2 turns. So you'll put it there, then you'll slide it down, and then if that bottle is still there, when it gets back to your turn, then this baby will be happy and these cards will go away. Likewise, the food is going to take 3 turns in order to do that. So you'll have to go through 1 turn and then another turn, and then if it gets back to you, then the baby will be happy. Now with the mobile, that doesn't actually make the baby happy at all. It kind of is just a stopgap. So for instance, if this was on top of this card right here, this baby would not cry for as long as this card is right here. However, eventually someone probably will come out and cut it with one of the orange cards that will do so. So, what you'll be able to do on your turn: play 1 misfortune card on someone else to make their baby sad. You can play comfort cards to comfort your baby, and you can also trade cards with other players. The game has a pretty open trade market. The only rule is when you trade, you have to trade 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3. You can't be like, here's 3 cards and you give me 1 card or something like that. But you can attempt as many trades as you possibly want in order to get the cards that you need. Granted, that won't always be possible because other people are going to be having to deal with this card because there's a lot of this card in the game. Anywho, if it ever gets to the end of your turn and one of your babies is unhappy and you're not currently fixing it, then that baby goes to crying, and when someone has all their babies crying, the game will end. At which point you will flip over your cards that are not crying, your babies that are not crying. You'll see who has the most points. Whoever has the most points will be the winner of Baby Blues. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alright then, Baby Blues from Indie Board & Cards. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. One big rule I forgot to mention in the middle part I wanted to clarify right here is that you're going to be drawing up to 5 cards at the end of each turn, and also if you don't play any cards, you can discard as many cards as you want and then draw back up to 5 cards. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes it will, and I wanted to make sure I mention that because I will be referring to that in the pros and cons. But let's get to those said pros and cons. First, on the pros side, I like the theme. I find it to be a humorous theme. It's a theme that I think is definitely one that you're not going to see too terribly often, of trying to make babies cry and trying to make your babies better. And I like that. I enjoyed the artwork. Component-wise, it's nice. The tiles are nice. The rule booklet is easy to read, easy to understand. And I think if you like light take-that games, this might be a game that you'd want to check out. The symbology is pretty easy to understand once you know what's going on. After about 2-3 rounds, you'll quickly understand that, oh, this means I need food, this means I need a bottle, this means I need a pacifier. It's all very simple. Moving on to the console, Baby Blues is not a game for me. Now, that being said, I don't think it's a bad game. I think some people are really going to enjoy this game, but I just don't see myself playing this game ever again unless it's after something that absolutely just roasted my brain. And the main problem I had with this game is a couple different things. First, very restricted player count at 3 to 5 players. But secondly, it's just everything's on a rail. All the decisions that you make are pretty much obvious. Like, you know exactly what you need to do on your turn, and you know exactly what you should do on your turn. It's like, oh, my baby needs a pacifier. I don't have a pacifier. What am I going to do this round? I'm going to beg someone to try and trade me a pacifier. Very straightforward. Oh, no one traded me a pacifier? Oh, you said you had a pacifier, but you said you had a pacifier, but you're not going to trade it to me? Well, guess what? Boom, there's a poopy diaper. I'm going to play a bad card out of my hand every single turn. Why do I do that every single turn? Because, well, I want to draw back up to 5, so hopefully I can get good cards. There's just so much take that in this game. Now, that is some people's games, and if you love take that games, I think you'll really enjoy this. But for me personally, there was just way too much, and there's way too many agitated babies. Just, you constantly need bottles and mobiles and food, and it's just frustrating because every single turn it's just like, anybody want to trade me this? Oh, you all have agitated babies. No one's going to trade me, and this baby's going to go to crying. And it's, I like the hidden scoring, but it's all just completely random. I mean, it's just, you're guessing. Like, oh, hopefully that's the 4. Maybe it's the 0. I don't know. There's no real way to find out. Just too light for me, to take that for me. But that being said, I don't feel like this is a bad game. I just feel like this is not a game for me. So, Baby Blues, in the end, if you like light take that games, this might be one you want to check out. I think if you're looking for games for more of a social crowd or a gateway crowd or a non-gamery crowd, this one might be for you. I also wish there was a player aid card for people to have that went over what all the different cards did, but that being said, after about 2 to 3 rounds of playing the game, it's not a huge deal. So Baby Blues from Indie Board and Cards, one that missed for me, but I still can see that some people definitely are going to enjoy the game if they like Take That Games. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, Take That Games, do they do it for you? For me personally, most of the time, no. I think I've outgrown Take That Games, even though I do have a couple soft spots for games like Munchkin in my heart. But for the most part, you know, if I'm putting a lot of strategy and thought into a game, I don't want my strategy and thought to be completely derailed by a card that someone just happened to draw. But let me know in the comments below. Take That Games. Do they do it for you? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.